In the film Dirty Dancing, sister accuses baby of sleeping with anyone as long as they're on the right side of the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Having an alternative view is nothing new. If we have to put ourselves in a box, we're immediately an enemy to somebody. A clever device. We see ourselves good because other people are bad. When Jane Fonda flew into Hanoi in the middle of the Vietnam War, she was an enemy to many, but on the right side of the narrative for others. None of us want to cross the line because we'll upset the apple cart. Where's the self-respect in that and respect for others? We value the apples more. Welcome. Welcome to Sunday Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith at Sunday Coffee Hour. We talk about everything and nothing. This Sunday, we talked about Project 2025, getting rid of the post office, off the chart zany, the amoral majority, having a surgical narrative, and doctors who don't believe in allergies. The readings at Washington National Cathedral were from Isaiah. I live among the people with unclean lips. And from Romans, we're born into fear, but we can allow ourselves to be adopted into love. The gospel was from John. Jesus said, God did not send me to condemn the world, but to save it through me. The sermon at Washington National Cathedral was from Spencer Brown. Spencer preached about the adventure of he and his family moving recently to Washington, D.C. How parking there requires advanced level calculus. Spencer said adventure can mean blood, sweat, and tears. It can involve a job transition, a hospital stay, a fire, or starting a family. We all want clarity, but instead we experience the clarity of not knowing. We fill out our not knowing with a lot of belief in things that are not really worthy of our devotion. We use that certainty to fuel our acts of loving violence against each other. It's out of our need to fix and solve everything, when all the while we should just be present in the moment. That's what God does. He's not here to fix the world's problems. He's here to be present with us. We're asked to model his example by being present with each other, abiding in each other, hearing each other, respecting yourself in respecting others. It heals yourself and those around you. At St. James Cathedral, it was Memorial Day weekend. I usually attend St. James in person, and when I'm out of town, I listen later to the podcast. This week, the recording was corrupted by technical difficulties. It's yet to be retrieved. At St. James, they never take the obvious route in their sermons. There's nothing more obvious than John 3:16, for God so loved the world. Perhaps they would have focused on being adopted by love instead of living out our birthright of fear. This week, Johnny Depp said on TikTok that most people go through life standing in line and following the rules, being a good person. Few ever get around to being who they truly are or who they were meant to be. We all start out as nice young men and women. Most of us never say anything, and it goes pretty good. Usually it's because we're useful to somebody else. Everyone's on the spectrum between being a nice person and public enemy. In direct proportion to being useful to other people, being true to ourselves, and saying something. Freedom fighters always cross the line, and no one wants to hear what they have to say. Sometimes they need to speak in riddles. My friend Regan Burke said this week in her blog that she's always been annoyed by parables, the parables in the Bible. They always make her feel bad, like she's not living up to something. Well, we can just ignore most of the parables. Christ spoke in parables because he was required to do so. We're not required to do the same. We have so many better real life examples. In David Nuremberg's Anti-Judaism, he outlined God dividing with the worst people, not on God's account, but on our account. That's how we navigate the world, good and bad. If you're Christ, you're a menacing presence, an enemy of the state, and danger to democracy. The Bible is the story of the Hebrew people. He came to be their savior. We can divorce ourselves from the fear of needing a savior, and we can be adopted by God's love instead. We don't need to stand in line or make up a story about it. The only story we need to make up is making up for all the lost time listening to other people's crap. If you would like to join us at Sunday Coffee Hour is every Sunday at 12 noon Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. Be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.